Hi guys, welcome to day 22 of the 60-day DAS Trader Challenge. So today is the first red day for quite a while. I think the first one for about close to 2.5, 3 weeks. And it came on a day when there was very little action, very few stocks to choose from pre-market, and overall a pretty short watch list. So what that leads me to believe is that what I did today was I was trying to look for trades where there really weren't their setups. For example, I anticipated shorting a couple of times above the VWAP, which didn't work out. That's just another reinforcement of the fact that you don't want to be shorting above the VWAP unless you're just scalping for a really small move. And in general, it's the kind of day that I think I needed for quite some time. Because this makes it a little bit more realistic that you can't get out of trouble every single time. Because that's what I've been able to do for quite some time. If I ever got into trouble, you know, negative $200-300, I was pretty much able to get out of those situations. Now, I think today is a good lesson because it kind of brings your feet to the ground in the sense of you're not always going to be able to get out of a hole, and no matter how hard you try, there comes a limit to when you need to admit defeat and you need to put your hand up and say, I'm done for the day. Now, in terms of executions, normally I say to everyone that I like to average about 30, 35, which means it's about 7 or 8 trades a day. I mean, ideally 5 or 6 trades with a couple of scaling in and a couple of executions scaling out again. So it's about 30 odd. Now, today I had, 1 second, 67, which is double what I normally do. So you can tell how much I overtraded. And I knew pretty much when I was down about $200, $250, around about 3, which is my max loss. I knew that this was going to be a difficult day to get out of that hole. And there were a few occasions when I was already just on the verge of quitting and giving in and finishing for the day. But I was still looking, you know, still trying to find something that just wasn't there. So today, really good lesson in how not to force trades, because if there's no setup and no indicators to show you a good entry and exit point and a stop loss and a risk reward, don't take them. Don't take them because the market will humble you. So I didn't draw all of my normal lines and kind of risk rewards and my normal markups today, simply because I think I just need a bit of a day's break from everything, because I've been really putting in a lot of hours the last month or so in learning this new strategy and working on my psychology. Just generally working on my trading has been pretty much, you know, 12, 14 hour day sometimes. And I'm also working on this journal application, which I'll be releasing soon as well. So all of that put together means that I'll probably need to kind of just reset my system, maybe take a bit of time away. And honestly, I just didn't have it in me today to spend another hour, or maybe not an hour, but another 40 minutes drawing everything up, simply because I think I just need to walk away today for a little bit. Now, I will show you what I did, but I just won't go through all the markups. So this is what I traded today. I traded AMD. I went long, small gain there. Cost, thank you very much, Ryan. Really nice call out there. That was a really good trade, but unfortunately this came at the point where I was already after I traded GLBS, which was a long low float momentum stock. So really today's watch list looked like this: AMD, Nvidia, and then 3 or 4 low float momentum stocks, which is a really short watch list for the type of strategy that I like to trade, which is a more higher end stocks and stocks with news and stocks that are weak on the day or about to go red on the day. So not much really to choose from. Is this live? Is this Nvidia? Oh man, I hate you so much, you bastard, you prick. I'm sorry guys, but I've been waiting for this move down for like an hour and a half. I got in here, which was my last trade of the day, and trying to short this because it went below the VWAP, trying to make up some of the loss. I was negative 600 on the day. And I held through all this. I was about to call it a day there because I was getting really close to just a major kind of negative number on the day. But I held it, and ended up kind of covering here, which brought my loss down to a more manageable, what is it, $494, and I think it was like negative 600. But now I can see this little piece of rubbish just it going even further. So that actually adds insult to injury, which is good. I needed this. I needed this to show me that you cannot be forcing trades, and it's bad for you and your health. Well done, Nvidia. Thank you for the lesson, you prick. So let's go through them. So AMD. So most of my trades were really red today, and there weren't any good setups, and we'll go through them. So AMD was one of the few that was actually okay. But once again, you know, this was a little bit forced as well because, first of all, I don't like trading AMD. Just my personal preference. I find that the stock doesn't have a lot of range, and I've tried shorting this in the past. I've tried going long, and I just get so little mileage out of the moves that, for me personally, for my own, I don't know, personality or my risk appetite or my patience, whatever it is, it doesn't work. But this was a forced trade. No doubt about it. I got in here because I just saw a bit of strength. I had nothing else. I had nothing else to play. And I figured, okay, it's looking all right. Let's go in here. And the forced trade, this is not what I would be doing on a normal day, right? So let's write that one off. Cost was a really nice play. Let me show you this. One of my friends showed me this in pre-market. And I saw this nice little gap here which needed to be filled, and this just looked really kind of, you know, ripe for the taking, and that was just a really nice trade, and that helped as well. How do I bring this up again? That really helped the bottom line. That was a plus $373. That was a really good call out, and I shorted here, a really good entry. I'm very proud of myself for this entry, and I covered here and here, and then I shorted again, added here, added here, added here, and then covered. So already you could see the wheels beginning to fall off. You know, when I'm adding 4 times, that means I'm a bit unsure about my position. But the first trade, really good. You know, nothing wrong with this trade at all. GLBS. Now I know, and maybe some of you guys know this already. Before I joined Vancouver Traders chat room with Andrew Aziz, I used to be with Ross Cameron in Warrior Trader, and with Tim Sykes before that as well, and a couple of other smaller rooms like Average Joe Trader with Ed Martin. Now, the low float momentum stocks, so Tim Sykes is penny stock world, so I've moved away from that. That's not really my fit. But Ross Cameron from Warrior Trading, this is where I learned low float momentum stocks, and I have to be honest. I didn't have a lot of success, and I lost $5,000 in about 8 weeks trading that kind of style. Now, the very first day after I had not quit, but after my subscription had finished with Warrior Trading, I went solo, and I was just trying things on my own, and I actually started doing much better. So I don't know whether that was just the room, or me, or just the stock choice, or me being a sheep. You know, I think Warrior Trading is a good teacher. I think Ross, you know, comes across quite well. I'm just not sure about his strategy being fit for everybody. So this is when I saw that we had 4 or 5 low float stocks as the main watch list. That was already a pretty clear sign that things were going to be a little bit tough today. And lo and behold, that's how it was. I mean, I ended up buying here at the market open. I bought 1, 2, 3. Actually, sorry, I bought, this was my first entry thinking it was going to go over $2. I added to my position here, then I further added above the VWAP, then I further added below the VWAP, which I don't really do, and then I got out here and here. So just a really unfortunate stock that I needed. Oh no, not I needed to trade. I traded it because I wanted to. There wasn't much available, but that's no excuse. You know, sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. And I still have to learn that. But I think today was a really good wake-up call. So that was a big loss of $250. And then really all of these were stocks where I didn't have a lot to do or choose from, and I just got in there and started going willy-nilly, gung-ho. So I'll show you how I was speaking to one of my friends who said this may be a possible good play. Now, I caught this really late. So this is another example of me trying to revenge trade and make up losses. Now you look at this and you think, why in the world would you want to go short here, right? You've got your stop loss, even if you're using the 9 average, right? That's 41.28, and you're getting in at 41. Okay, all right. So that's acceptable. If you're using the 9 as a stop loss, which is whatever 18 cents away, fine, fair enough. But you know, if you're using the VWAP, which is I think, in my opinion, a stronger indicator, then you're pretty far away from that. It isn't you know, death defying, but it's not exactly that close either. But more important than that, look how many red candles it's had, right? It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles, and pretty long, some of them as well, which means that this has been beaten down pretty strongly. Now, it's not often that you see a stock making a tiny pullback and then going crashing down again. So really, what was I expecting here to make? 15 cents. I mean, my goal was for this to drop below 41, because if it cracks a round number like 41, you know, and it starts, you know, going to 40.95, 40.90, 40.80, 40.70, it could conceivably get to 40.50, but that's pushing it as well. So really, it was just a stupid trade, and I added here because it wasn't going my way, and I finally closed out for a loss. Nvidia on the long side was good, good, $1.50 loss. It was good. I think I took. I don't remember where the long was. I think the long was here. Yeah, at 47.09, and I bought half. I sold half here and a half here. Actually, don't think this was my whole position. I think I left a little bit on, which is why I made it like $1.50 loss, because I sold the last remaining bits here as it kind of went down again. But I tried shorting this. Did I? Yeah, I tried shorting it here, right? So I didn't follow the first rule, which is give it 5 minutes. Tried shorting it here, and it didn't work. And I covered here and here just to get out of it. And then I tried shorting again here, and adding cover. So that's already 2 trades in a row where I got absolutely walloped on. And you would have thought that I would have taken my lesson and not shorted above the freaking VWAP. But what do? No, I'm coming back. I'm going to do it again. I shorted here as it lost the 9. Actually, my apologies. Yeah. So let's assume that these two, let me get my. So let's assume that these 2 red entries were my exits, because they may have been. I honestly don't remember. I think they were, but I'm not sure. But I just want to show you what I was doing that was really just reckless. So here I am shorting it, thinking it's going to break below the VWAP, but it hasn't even come close to the VWAP itself. I added to my position, and I got taken out. And I think I think I covered in 3 places, because I didn't want to get out of my position in one full go, because you can obviously scale that too when you had a loss. Then I went to short it again, and I got stopped out. I went to short it again, and I got stopped out. And I got stopped out. So just stupid. You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? It hasn't gone anywhere below VWAP. There's no way that I should be shorting this. So just really silly stuff. OCUL. I'm sorry, OCUL. All right, I'm going to change this. All right, OCUL. Tried to short this as well. So after the room I was in, shorted this and had a really nice profit on it. What does Bart do? Bart gets in here really late in the day, trying to kind of, you know, make his own stamp, but just a silly trade. I mean, I covered here, I made a little bit of money, and then a tiny bit here, and the rest here, but just nothing really solid. You know, these weren't good setups. I was getting really late to the party, and I wasn't just getting anything out of them. And then I shorted here again, simply because I thought it was going to crack, but no real indication. I mean, the volume was there, so you could argue, but it just wasn't convincing, and it didn't do a lot. I mean, I got stopped out here again. So another big loss. And then the last 2 stocks, OKE, I went to short, covered, shorted, added, covered, loss. And X as well, shorted, covered, after really long drops. So overall, really off my game today. Nothing to write home about, but a good lesson in humility, which is great. I needed that. So I'm going to take a weekend off, work on the journal, but clear my mind and get ready. So next week is probably going to be my last week of paper trading before I go back to live trading and small